and welcome to the Creatives Get Real podcast. I'm Roben-Marie Smith.
And I'm Sandi Keene, and these are real conversations about the creative life. Hello, Robin.
Hey, Sandi. How are you?
I'm good. I think I got the giggles out of my system.
Oh, I hope so. This is like take number 5.
I know, it's ridiculous. But we have to be serious because I really like, I know I say this all the time, but this is a cool topic. This is something that you and I have been a part of for a long, long time. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to let you introduce it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so author Julia Cameron has a book out called The Artist's Way. Some of you may have heard of it, and some of you may go, ooh, I've never heard of this.
It's an old book.
It's very old, but it's kind of tried and true, and it's something I think at least one point throughout your creative journey, you really should read this book.
I agree.
And do the best you can to kind of follow. There's a lot to it, and but one of its cornerstones is morning pages. And morning pages, generally, as Julia says, they're roughly about 3 pages. They're handwritten. They're morning pages or pages that you're writing generally in the morning, but you can do them at different times. And it's just stream of conscious writing. It's just getting stuff on paper.
Right.
Not necessarily creative stuff, just the stuff that's in your brain, the stuff that clogs everything up in your brain.
Right. So you would start out with something like, today is Tuesday, and I'm really annoyed because I have a doctor's appointment later that I don't want to go to. He's going to yell at me because my blood pressure is still too high. It's just whatever you're thinking. Then I have to go to the grocery store. I need bread and milk, and I can't forget I got to have peanut butter. And then you just keep writing.
Yeah.
No matter what craziness.
That's right.
Comes into your mind.
And you don't stop and think about it. You just keep writing. Keep writing. And it doesn't have to be in a fancy journal or whatever. I pretty much have just done them in those what are those? Composition type books. Just those little notebooks that fold and lay flat. I like the ones that lay flat because then I can just keep turning pages. And what I'll do is run through just the facing page. Then I flip it over, which would be upside down, and then I write on the backs of the pages that are now the facing pages. So it's kind of like going in both directions, but I don't write in. Yeah, I don't know why I do it that way.
I bet it looks cool when it's done, though.
Yeah, because part of it's upside down, and the other part, and it's not really in order. I wonder what it would be like to read it, though, out of order. It probably would make sense, because none of it makes sense, right?
Right. That's cool. I usually use a sketchbook. You know how you go to Barnes & Noble or a bookstore and they have those pretty sketchbooks with a hard cover? That's what I like to use. The caveat to that is those are big pages. Yeah. And the goal here is 3 pages front and back. At least that's what I do is front and back. And so those are big pages, so you can write kind of big.
Do you use a pen or a pencil?
I always use a pencil. I am a mechanical pencil girl. I don't hand me a pen until I'm doodling.
And you're never tempted to erase anything. You just keep right on going.
Keep going. And for me, I have to try to not stop because I can't stand when I spell something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go back and change it.
Yes.
But I just keep going.
No, you just keep going.
Keep going.
I mean, no one's going to see it. It's just for you. And you may or may not ever even go back and read it.
I don't.
I can't even recall ever going back and reading. I have some that are in my desk drawer, and I've been tempted just to kind of see what I wrote or what I was thinking or whatever. But no, they're just still in there. Just haven't really looked at them.
Me too. I don't read them. I don't want to know. So the point of this is just to clear out your mind. It's a clearinghouse. This is just where you start writing and all that junk that is cluttering up your mind. All of those things like the grocery list, getting the kids' permission slip signed, and making sure you send the $3 for whatever field trips coming up. Those kind of things out of your head, so that when you walk into the studio, what happens?
Your mind is not cluttered and you're not thinking about all of those things. There's just something about your brain, I don't know the best way to say it. You can only cram so much in it, and then other stuff's going to come out because there's just only so much room. And so if you can kind of just clear your mind of those things, that you don't even need to think about those things anymore. And it could be feelings, it could be a situation that you're trying to work through, get it out and just write it down so that when you do go into the studio or it could be anything that you're getting ready to do. I mean, you could be a student and you're getting ready to, maybe present something. Maybe you're getting ready to teach a class they benefit really, I think anybody, not just artists or creatives. Then you're more able to focus, I think, on what you're getting ready to do.
Yeah.
I think too, at least for me, morning pages are great at night because there is so much cluttering up my brain before I try to go to sleep that there's times when I cannot sleep, where I actually will get up and just write stuff down because it's like, I don't want to keep thinking about that. I mean, how many times you just said, I got to remember that in the morning. So you just keep going over and over. Okay, remember that.
Right.
And it's like, why don't I just write that down? But I mean, the objective is to clear your brain in the morning so that you can then start working and start creating. Or just do it maybe before you start going into the studio, before you're actually starting to sit down and do some creative work.
Yes. So let's talk about our own personal experience with them. I think I've done them 3 times, and that means 3 long intervals of doing them. How about you? How many times have you done it?
2 times.
Twice.
Yeah.
So when you do them, approximately how long does your commitment last to morning pages?
Yeah, it's actually been a while since I've done them, and the last time I did them. And I remember I started doing them during difficult times. Like I was going through something that I needed to do them just because it really kind of helped get a lot of that junk out.
Right.
Probably I would say not more than a month. I don't think I ever did it more than a month. I mean, which is kind of sad because you develop a habit at about 21 days or something. So, but yeah, about that. Then you start slacking off a little bit, and then another day goes by, and then you find, I'm not doing it. Yeah.
It's like any habit you're trying to create. It's easy to fall out of it.
Yes.
And I've fallen out of it every time I've tried it.
Oh, yeah.
But I've done it for probably, similar to you, about a month. Sometimes longer. I think my longest is probably about 8 weeks.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
What I have found is really good is to have a partner. So commit with someone else. And so what you do is you're just checking in with each other. How are you doing with your morning pages? So to have a commitment with someone else and accountability, that holds me on track longer.
Well, and that's true with a lot of things we do, right? Whether it's healthy eating or exercise, is having someone to help you with that accountability makes you more apt to be like, yeah, I'm focused, I'm doing this, and having someone else to cheer you on or whatever. And it's not like you're sharing the information. No. It's just like, hey, how are you doing? Yeah.
Are you doing them?
Right.
And it's also fun to talk about the benefits. Like, yes, I've been doing them for a week, and when I went into the studio, things come to me faster. The blank page doesn't scare me anymore.
Right.
Those kind of things. So, yeah, I think I really enjoy them, and I wish I didn't fall out of the habit.
I know. Yeah,
as
me too.
often as I do.
Yeah.
But then you come back to it. And
That's right.
It's time to do it again.
That's right. Yeah.
So you said that you usually use a composition notebook. I usually use a sketchbook. Let's talk about some fun other places that you could do it, because we kind of kicked this around a little bit and we had some fun ideas.
Yeah, I think, you don't have to do it in a notebook necessarily. I think the idea of random papers, maybe you pull under paper from your stash, or you've got just scraps of things and you just, it's random writing anyway. And so why not just do all the random writing on various papers rather than throwing them away? And then you could maybe put them in a little folder, maybe a little, just like a recipe keeper, like a receipt keeper. You keep stuff in, and then they're just, I don't know. There's something about them all being in different sizes and shapes and colors and things that's kind of appealing.
That's very artsy.
Yeah, very artsy in a way.
Yeah. So you're almost creating like a found paper or an ephemera kind of thing that you could, if you wanted to take it a step further and make it creative, and that would keep you in the habit longer. Yeah. That would be fun.
You stitch them up or whatever. There's times I've got scraps of paper on the table and I write things down so I don't forget. What's the difference? I know this is like a process, but I don't know. There's just something kind of fun about that. Rather than being in a notebook, it's on colored paper, construction paper. You can use anything, really. So
yeah, you really could.
Yeah, and you had a good idea, too.
Yeah, let's say you have an art journal. You could do it in your art journal, and that would be your first layer. Then you would paint over that, and then maybe just little letters or little words here and there would poke through. Not enough that you feel like my private thoughts are showing, but enough just to give it some texture.
Sure.
That would be really fun.
And it's a good jumping off point, just like you said, to get started, where it's not a blank page you're just starting with. It's, okay, here we go. I've written this out. That part of my morning is done, or my day is done. Right. Now let's keep going. You know? Yeah. You could collage on it and paint. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, I like that.
So let's talk about some of the benefits. I know when I read The Artist's Way, there were people who were writing books, who were trying to paint, photographers who were doing it, and actually, as they wrote, started to come up with ideas for their next project or the next chapter in their book. Has that ever happened to you, where you come up with things while you're writing?
I think the biggest thing for me, yes, the ideas come because what I've developed is more discipline and routine, which then gets me in the studio more, gets me motivated more, and therefore the ideas are more freely come to me.
Right.
Because it's sort of like, if I'm going to commit to doing this, then then it's easier to commit to doing, an hour a day in the studio or something like that. And that's not an easy thing, I don't want anyone to think, at least for me, I don't spend hours a day in the studio. I mean, I think a lot of times people think creatives and we work at home and we do our thing, we're just like hours and hours. I mean, I'm sure there's probably artists that do that, but I don't have time to do hours and hours every day. First of all, I think I would burn out, in some small way if I were doing too much, So by doing these, it's just one more thing that kind of helps me have a routine and be disciplined. And then it's like, okay, yeah. And the more time I'm in the studio and I'm doing and I'm creating or making time for it, the ideas do come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I have had the experience where, you do that first page is all the stuff that we just talked about, just random nonsense. And then you start thinking of the thing that you want. Let's say it's a class.
Yeah.
And then you start writing about the class. I'm trying to think of this, way to do X, Y, and Z. How do I do this? And then I start getting ideas. And as long as you keep that pencil going, it's like your brain keeps working. And for me, it's a good way to start getting broad strokes of things. It doesn't work for me to get details that way because I'm writing too fast. But broad strokes, it really works for that. Like if something is just like niggling in the back of my brain and you just keep writing, it's like, oh, that's what that is.
There it is.
There it is.
So let me get a picture of this. It's sort of the stream of conscious writing that then leads to things that are a little bit more structured or make more sense.
Yes.
It leads into, how it's like, it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole and you're like, this topic, that topic, that topic. But then you go, oh, okay, let me expand on that. But you just keep writing and you just keep letting it come out rather than it being nonsense. Now those ideas are starting to form a little bit and it's like, oh, okay. Now I've got a starting point for whatever that is.
Right. And then you can take those broad strokes, and if you go back to our episode on mind mapping, mind map it, or you and I both are big fans of Trello boards.
Yep.
Take it to your Trello board or your outline or whatever it is, however you like to process information. But for me, it can start that way with those
I can see
strokes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to do that.
The idea is in there. It's in there. It's just trying to get it out. And sometimes it's sort of like, even when you're in the studio and you start creating, then an idea comes and it's like, oh, okay, let me chase that. But yeah, sometimes it's just, it's there, but you just got to get it out.
It's buried.
Yeah.
Like you can feel it's there. Do you have that too, where you have a great idea and it's like your brain feels it.
Yeah. But you're like,
it's like, it hasn't come to me yet. But I know it has to do with whatever.
Right.
Pick a thing. A giant canvas. I know I want to work on a giant canvas.
Yeah.
And you just start writing. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do this. But the how-to, that's when I have to leave stream of consciousness and be deliberate. But it's good for uncovering those big ideas.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. And it may not always happen, but you don't know when it's going.
Yes.
As long as you're getting out the nonsense and the junk, you don't know. Sometimes you just need that to clear so that you can then find the other stuff that's in there.
Yeah, it's like you open the door, so those thoughts start to work through, and you're like, oh, I have a good idea. Yeah. I really enjoy morning pages. I would like to do them again.
Okay, so when are we going to start?
Are we committing to another thing?
Yeah, but this is not October of next year, so we've got time. So how about we do 2 weeks? We could start tomorrow, the 15th of November, and just run till the end of the month. We could do 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to come up with a hashtag.
Ooh.
Not that you're posting on social, but you could do like a little, maybe a photo of your notebook and your pen, and you're just kind of getting ready to write.
All right.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And just give an update on your progress. What if we did CGR?
Creatives Get Real.
Morning pages.
I like it. Okay, so if you want to join us, the hashtag is CGR Morning Pages. And it's just a commitment for 2 weeks. If you want to give it a try, I love this idea.
Oh my gosh, it's like a challenge.
It is.
It's a challenge and morning pages together.
It is.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's see. I would love it if at least maybe 10, 15, 20 people joined us.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's do morning pages. And the first one will be easy. Show us what you're doing your pages on.
Yes. Show us your papers, your notebook, your pen, your pencil, your colored markers, whatever you've decided. Let that be, I'm starting, I'm committing, and this is what I'm going to do it.
Yep. Yeah. And we're all committing for 2 weeks. And if you want to continue after that, great, continue. But your commitment is only 2 weeks, not 100 days.
Oh, darn. Yeah. No, 2 weeks is doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I love it. Okay.
All right, fist bump, morning pages.
Boom. Right over. We just did it. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I love that idea. Yay.
Me too.
All right. Well, we hope that you will join us, and we will post our whatever we're going to use and to get us off and get us started. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
Oh, good.
Okay, join us.
All right.
Bye.
Till later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Creatives Get Real.
We love hearing from you. So hop on over to Instagram and leave us a comment. And we also appreciate reviews on iTunes.
And you can find me, Sandi Keene, at sandykeene.com and my classes at popupartclasses.com.
And you can find me, Roben-Marie Smith, at robenmarie.com. And if you're looking for and need tech support, check out my membership site, makerstechu.com.